Hello and welcome to this short yin practice for deep sleep. This will hopefully help you have a deeper sleep, help you fall asleep faster, or if you're not looking to go to sleep, just help provide some general relaxation. And you might want to have a couple blocks handy for this class or maybe even a pillow, but no props are necessary. So let's get right into it. Let's get started laying on our backs, hugging the knees into the chest, and then releasing them out. And our first pose is going to be a banana asana. So you're going to reach your arms up above you and scooch the hips a little over to the left. And then draw the feet over to that lower right corner of the mat and the upper body over to that upper right corner of the mat. So you're in this banana-like shape here. And you want to keep both hip points on the ground. If you want to go a little deeper, you can cross that left ankle over the right and maybe grab that left wrist with the right hand. If none of these arm positions feel good, you can always clasp opposite elbows or even just rest your hands up above you on the mat. And starting to sink in and relax here. And breathing deeply into that side body. And whenever you're ready, beginning to slowly uncross those ankles. If you had them crossed, letting go of the left wrist and slowly making your way back to center. Maybe keeping those eyes closed. And we're going to move right into that other side. So just scooching the hips a little over to the right, drawing the feet over to the lower left corner of the mat, and the upper body over to that upper left corner of the mat. So again, you're in that banana-like shape, keeping both hip points on the ground. An option to cross the right ankle over the left, and maybe hold the right wrist with the left hand. And breathing into the side body. And slowly beginning to let go of the wrist if you're holding onto it, uncrossing those ankles, and really gently making your way back to the center of the mat, releasing those arms, and maybe hugging the knees into the chest, rocking a couple times side to side. And then we're going to make our way up into a tabletop position. So getting there however works best for you, and really taking your time. Maybe moving a little bit side to side in this tabletop position and returning back to neutral. So now we're going to come into a deer pose, and you're going to draw that left shin parallel with the top of the mat, and then you're going to bring the right shin to come in line with the side of the mat here. So you kind of have two triangle-like shapes. And this could be a good place to use a block if you have one. If not, totally fine. But whenever you're ready, you're going to begin to fold forward over that left shin. And maybe resting the forehead on the block if you're using it. And really sinking into the pose. remembering to breathe deeply. And then slowly beginning to crawl back up, taking your time. And just gently releasing those legs out in front of you. Maybe taking a couple windshield wipers from side to side. And maybe looking over one shoulder and then the other before returning back to center. And we're just going to do that deer pose on the other side. So bringing the right shin parallel with the top of the mat, and then the left shin to go along the side of the mat. So again, you have those two triangle-like shapes. An option to use the block for your forehead, and then whenever you're ready, beginning to fold forward over that right shin. Super relaxing pose here, really great for sleep. And slowly beginning to crawl your way back up, really gently, and removing the block if you're using it. And then stretching those legs back out in front of you. Again, maybe rocking a little bit side to side, super slowly here. Returning back to center, we're going to come to face the long way on our mat, so maybe you know where we're headed. And I would maybe grab a couple blocks if you have them. If you don't, again, totally fine. But we're going to stretch both legs out wide on the mat for our straddle pose. And you can bend the knees as much as you like here. Since we're going for a gentle practice, I definitely encourage you to bend them if you like. An option to place blocks underneath those knees. And if you had a pillow or a blanket, you could always sit up on that as well. And then whenever you're ready, begin to fold forward in between those legs. Option as well, if you have blocks, to place them underneath your head so you can rest the forehead on the blocks. And really trying to round and soften here, letting that head drop and maybe closing those eyes. And breathing deeply. Maybe you find the deeper you breathe, the deeper you can go into the pose. again, really slowly, you're going to begin to crawl your way back up, removing any props if you were using them. Just grabbing the outside of those knees and slowly drawing them back together. Again, maybe placing those hands behind you and taking a couple of windshield wipers. And we're going to come into one last pose, which is going to be legs up the wall. And if you don't have a wall near you, no worries, you can do this without a wall. But if you do have a wall near you, beginning to draw the mat towards that wall. And you're going to come to face the wall, trying to get as close to it as you can. And then coming to lie down on your back. And then just drawing those legs up the wall. And again, if you don't have a wall, you can just reach the legs up. And just letting the blood rush down from the legs into the rest of the body. Really great to do this pose every night before sleeping. If you want to stay in this legs up the wall pose, go for it. And if you're ready to come out, just slowly bring the legs down, drawing the knees into the chest. And then we're going to make our way into Shavasana. Or option to just crawl right into bed. If you're making your way into that final resting pose, just coming to lie flat on the mat, closing the eyes, and just surrendering into the earth. Really melting that body into the ground. I definitely encourage you to stay resting in Shavasana or just climb right into bed, but this is where we'll close class. I hope you're able to have a really great night's sleep tonight or just feel generally more relaxed. Thanks so much for practicing with me, and I'll see you again next time.